Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Caprine Cottage Knitting Podcast. My name is Anne and I'm coming to you from my kitchen in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. This video today is going to be all about a little adventure I went on for a local yarn store day, which was this past weekend. But before we get into that, I just want to thank you guys for being here. So since I posted my last video, there's a lot more of you and I'm really surprised. I didn't expect in the beginning to have any kind of traction really. So it's pretty exciting and I'm so happy you could all join me. I have a cup of tea here. So if you want to get a drink and maybe get cozy, get your knitting. And then, like I said, this episode is going to be all about an adventure I went on this past weekend. So the next segment of the video is going to be kind of vlog style. And then we'll meet back here together and I'll discuss all of the things I bought, which I didn't buy very much, but maybe you'd like to see, and I'll discuss kind of some of my plans for what I'd like to use them for. So yeah, I'll see you in a few minutes, but until then, you'll just be with me on my adventure. Hi everyone, I'm filming this on my phone, so I hope that the quality isn't too bad. But it's actually the Sunday, but I'm going out now for local yarn store day. The yarn store is close to me. They did a whole weekend thing and I just didn't feel like going out yesterday, but I'm going to go today and hopefully I will be able to show you guys around the shop a little bit and then maybe what I got. Okay, bye. So this is Gorgeous Fiber Arts, the first shop I went to. You can see here some of the selection. There's some Plotalopi, some Peace Fleece, some West Yorkshire Spinners. He's got a great selection of yarn. There's also studio space in the back for classes. He offers weaving classes and I'm pretty sure some knitting classes. And it's just all around a really beautiful shop. It's light, it's airy. So this is Redbird Fiber Arts, the second shop I went to. You can see they have a cute little local yarn shop day sign outside. Beautiful selection of indie dyed yarns. And there's, I think, 3 rooms of fiber. The first one is really beautiful. This is a kind of crafting space. I think they also offer classes like the other shop. There's a whole wall of notions here, great selection. And then this back room, I'm pretty sure, is their wool-free selection of yarn. So I'm back in the car. I filmed a little bit for you guys and I got some stuff. I'm like happy but not proud of myself. Here's a little, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. Here's some colors. There's one more. This one. So yeah, I bought 4, well, technically it's like 3 skeins of yarn because 2 of those are 50 gram balls. But this, I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go get some food now and then I'll film some when I get home talking about what I got. Hi again, so we're back together here at home. What you just saw was filmed on Sunday. It's now Wednesday, so it's a couple days later. But I thought I would give you guys a little bit more in-depth tour of what I got, talk about the experience a little bit. It was the first time I've ever gone out for local yarn store day. I actually didn't really even know that was a thing, but also until very recently, there weren't too many yarn stores very close to me. Like even the 2 I drove to were about 30 minutes away. So I kind of live in the country, so things are not super close, but that's pretty close. And the town they're in is cute and there's other things you can do there. But yeah, so I guess I'll just get into it. I went to 2 stores, and I've talked about them before, but they are Gorgeous Fiber Arts and Redbird Fiber Arts. They're both in Owego, New York. And it was a really fun experience. The energy was really great. And something that I really liked was that local yarn store day, I think, was technically the Saturday, but they did a whole weekend long event, which was convenient for me because I was kind of busy on Saturday and so I was able to go on Sunday. But they had like so many things going on. I know that they're doing a cal together, like you got to buy 1 skein of yarn at each store. I did chose to not participate in that because I just have like so much already going on. I'm actually casting on for a cal today and I'll talk more about that in my next video. But so I chose not to do that, but they did have door prizes. So you got entered in a raffle just for going into the store. You didn't even have to buy anything, which I thought was super generous and really sweet. And then I think you also went into a different drawing. I wasn't totally sure. There was a lot going on, but you went into a different drawing for purchasing something. And then maybe you got like more entries if you entered the Cal. I wasn't totally sure how it worked. It was fine with me. I was like, whatever, I'll take whatever entries I can get. But I did not win, sadly. So they called people that Sunday evening and I was not a winner, which is totally fine and okay. It's always just kind of fun to join some kind of raffle thing, even if you like don't win. Like, it's still the excitement of it is kind of worth it. Yeah, so they also had freebies and stuff. The other thing I think I'll talk about first, which is here in the basket, is they're also part of the New York State Fiber Trail, which I think this is relatively new. I want to say I've seen it going around for a couple years now, and this is just like a little passport. I'm going to try and do better too about making the camera focus and not like go in and out. But so this is what the passport looks like. And inside you can get, it's split up into regions of the state, and you can get stamps for everywhere you go. So here are my 2 stamps that I got the other day, but there's a whole bunch of other, there's a bunch of stores in New York State, so that's really cool. But then at the end, you can submit pictures of your stamps and get submitted into another raffle. So, but that's through New York Fiber Trail. And I just think this is so cute, and like, who doesn't love, like, it reminds me of being a child or a teenager and having like a sticker book, or I don't know, maybe this is super niche, but like as a kid, I had the national parks passport where you got to go to like different national parks, and you got, I mean, it still exists. I actually still have it, but you get like a stamp and then they stamp on it saying you were there. I loved that as a kid. I love anything like this. It's kind of like collect them all. It's probably because I was raised on Pokemon, but whatever. But yeah, so the first store I went to was Gorgeous Fiber Arts, and I got a couple things. So the first thing I got, so I was trying to be responsible, which we all know it's not always the easiest when yarn shopping, but I tried to really stick to a purpose. I had a list, was trying not to be swayed just by things that I thought were pretty. But so I bought these 2 skeins of sock yarn. I'm gonna hold them up. And they are from Wildfoote. I've never seen this yarn before, but I thought it was so beautiful. And it's 75% wool, 25% nylon, and it's a fingering weight sock yarn. I like it because it still feels kind of rustic. Like, it's definitely not, it says washable wool, but it does not feel like a super wash wool. And they're 50-gram balls, but I bought these as the missing colors for the Rad Radish socks, which if you saw my last video, you'll see those. They're by Stone Knits. I'll put up a picture anyway so you can see. But I think I have enough brown and maybe a cream left over, and I definitely have white somewhere. But so I needed a pink and a green, and I pretty much would never in a million years use this color pink. But I think for a pop, it's super cute, and obviously it's the perfect radish color. Hold that up real close so you can see. I hope it's focusing. I don't think it is. Well, anyway, it's very pink. It's like fuchsia colored. Yeah, so those were my first 2 things I got, and I feel like these were practical. They were for something I have planned. Like, I wasn't going to just buy something because it was pretty. Then the next thing I got was this skein of Ecoview Fiber Mill Lapidary, which I've already talked about this yarn. I love this yarn. I knit a pair of socks in the past from this yarn. It was a pattern from Taproot magazine, and I actually bought a kit from them, and this is the yarn it came with. But so sadly, Ecoview Fiber Mill is out of business. However, I learned from the proprietor of the shop that he bought a lot of their stock when they went out of business. So he does have, like, there's not a ton, but he has a decent amount of it. I actually think I want to buy some more of this lapidary because I love it so much before it sells out and doesn't exist anymore. And it's 50% merino and 50% tencel. So it's technically, I mean, tencel is sort of like, it's sort of a synthetic, but it's like kind of a not synthetic. But it has the most beautiful sheen and drape to it. I'll try and see if you can kind of see it up close once again, trying to get this to focus. I really hope I can become better at this. But anyway, I got it to go with this, which I showed you in my last video. I bought this when I was in Scotland, and it's so hard to choose a color. I held this skein up to so many colors in the shop, and this color of the Lapidary, I think is called Selenite. Yeah. And so it's a very pale gray. It probably looks white to you, but it really looks like selenite, like the mineral. And it was hard to choose. It was so hard. Like, there's so many colors in this skein that it's hard to find something that coordinates but doesn't disappear. And so this is what I landed on. And I'm starting to think that from the book 52 Weeks of Socks from Laine Publishing, the first edition, there's a stone knits pattern that's called the Hollingbourne sock. And I'm starting to lean toward the idea of making them in this color combo, with this being the background color and this being the contrast. I'm not totally set on it yet, but that's my plan as of right now. So those are the only things I got at Gorgeous Fiber Arts, and then both shops were doing freebies, and the little freebie from there was a little pair of scissors, which you can never have too many of those. Yeah, and I feel like Gorgeous Fiber Arts has a really nice selection of both knitting and weaving yarns, which is super cool. And I feel like he has a lot of kind of more, I don't want to say rustic, but like he sells Plotalope, he sells, he has, what is it? Oh my gosh, it's going to escape me now. Well, anyway, you'll see in the video. I'm probably going to do some voiceover in the video from the past, so you probably already saw that. But yeah, he has kind of, I would say like a more, I don't know, I want to say the palette he has is more earthy, which I feel like I lean towards in general myself. And I really like his selection. I feel like they're all really beautiful yarns and very carefully curated collection. But so then the next place I went was Redbird Fiber Arts, and these shops are right down the street from each other. So like, I think they're in the same block even. I'm trying to think of how the town is, but they're like a block or less apart, which is super fun and super cool because you can just walk between them. And I feel like, to like go off what I was saying before, their selections are incredibly complementary. They both have really beautiful selections, but they're also, I think, quite different. Redbird Fiber Arts has a lot more of like indie dyed yarn, and I would say a lot more vibrant colors. She also is selling some beautiful local yarn, some local hand spun yarn. And so it's just, I think it's the sweetest thing that they're kind of like, they work together so beautifully, and it allows people to kind of have this fiber destination. But so I only bought one thing there, and it was a splurge. So I'll just show it to you. The last time I was in her shop, I saw this skein of yarn, and I almost bought it, but it was, I mean, it wasn't very expensive. Like, I mean, being a knitter or a fiber artist is innately an expensive kind of hobby, if you want to call it a hobby. For me, it's kind of more than a hobby, but, you know, it is kind of an expensive activity. There's a lot of equipment you need, or it just kind of becomes expensive over time. I feel like in the beginning you can start out super cheap, and then you just like get in deeper and deeper, and it's really expensive. But anyway, this was a more expensive skein of yarn for sure, and I just thought it was so beautiful. I saw it when I was there the last time, and I didn't buy it because I was trying to be responsible. And so I like went in there thinking I might buy some mohair lace, but then at the end of the day, the woman working there told me that they're actually no longer going to be stocking this brand of yarn. And so I had to buy this because I was like, oh my gosh, it will be gone forever. And so it's from Hedgehog Fiber. I think that's just, it's just Hedgehog Fibers with an S. And they're from, she's an indie dyer from Ireland. And so this is merino lace weight. I just think this is so gorgeous. It gives me like neons and neutrals vibes. Like there's this bright green. It's so speckly. I don't know. Something about it was just so inspiring to me. But also I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. So that was sort of a maybe irresponsible part of this purchase. But it kind of leads me a little bit into my next thing, which is that, oh dear, I'm going to forget what her thing is. Sorry, you guys have to wait 1 second. Maybe I'll edit this out. You won't even see it. But, okay, yeah, so the yarn dyer, her business name is Poppy and Spruce Fiber Arts, and she was doing a, like, in-stock skein sale for local yarn store day, and she had packs of 3, and I think they were 3-pack, like, the whole 3-pack was between, like, depending on the base, between $59 and $63, which I thought was a pretty, like, great discount for an indie dyed skeins of yarn. And so I talked about in my last video wanting to make the cloud bow dress, and so I'm in need of some mohair lace, and I wanted something like maybe nicer than just like a totally solid plain color. So I bought a 3-pack of her merino lace. I think it's merino silk, yeah. And it's a mystery pack though, so I don't know. That's coming on Saturday. I would have included it in this video, but I really want to get this video out for you guys. But it's coming in the mail on Saturday, and so I'm probably going to use that with maybe some additions to make a cloud bow dress. And then I'm hoping that this could like maybe coordinate, but obviously that's like very optimistic. I have no idea what's going to be in this mystery pack, which is also exciting. I love a mystery pack. I'm such a sucker for it. I feel like anytime a business is like, we're doing mystery packs, I'm like, oh no, I have to buy it. Because maybe I just love like surprises, because I was saying I love just like joining a raffle even if I don't win. I don't know. It's like the anticipation is like satisfying to me for some way. I don't know. Tell me if you relate to that. That like you don't even care if you're going to win, but like the hope that you might win is enough to get you by. But yeah, so I decided that if it doesn't coordinate for the cloud bow dress, I'll either just find another pattern or maybe make the cloud bow in a top and then buy like a coordinating color of another lace weight yarn. So either a mohair lace or, you know, like maybe in a white or pale green or something. So I could have a top and a dress. This is super ambitious. Like, I don't know when I'm going to knit these things. I'm sort of, I think, kidding myself with that. But I think that that's pretty much, oh yeah. And so then the freebie, because they, like I said, they were doing freebies both shops. The freebie at Redbird was a bumper sticker and or a stitch marker. And I got this one, which I want to put this in my car, but also like maybe it's too niche. And also, I don't know, I'm like sort of weird about putting bumper stickers on my car. But I think it's so funny. Can you read it? Let's see if you can read it. Yeah. And they had other options that were really funny. And I just thought that was super cute. And it was so generous that they did these like giveaways and raffles and all this stuff. It really made it like a fun sort of event. And you could just feel the energy in the store. Like people were hanging out, people were coming and going, and they seemed, you know, just happy to be there, which is, it's nice to see people come out and support a local business. As a local business owner, obviously in a different field, it always feels really good to connect with your community. And so it was nice to kind of be part of that and experience that. And also it's always really fun to just kind of go out, like take yourself out on a date. Like I just went by myself. I went and got some donuts afterwards. So it was just kind of fun. Sometimes it's like fun to be on your own. Like I think part of me worries, there's a truck going by. Sorry. I feel like part of me worries when I go out by myself that I'll be like lonely, or, you know, I'm like, I think innately a very shy person. And so I worry that I'll be like nervous or shy or like awkward. But then also it's like really freeing to be by yourself because you're like, I can just go do whatever I want. I don't have to care if you're sick of looking at yarn or you have to go to the bathroom or whatever. Like I just have to take care of myself. So there's some freedom in being selfish and just kind of having fun, taking yourself out on a date. But yeah, so this is sort of a little bit of a short video for today. Not a ton to talk about, but I am going to talk about a little bit of housekeeping stuff now, which is mainly just that I'm going to try to be posting 3 videos a month. I would love to post every week, but I feel like maybe that's ambitious. So I'm trying to stick to at least 3 long length videos per month and then like 1 or 2 shorts, hopefully. But next week's video will be a regular podcast episode. So we'll be showing my finished object, works in progress, all that sort of stuff. Just like a regular podcast episode. And then for the other 2 videos of the month, I would like to do some kind of, you know, like fiber activity, talking about some kind of knitting technique, something like that. I'm not like totally formulating my ideas. I kind of started this, like, it's been a dream of mine to start this, but also I sort of started on a whim, and like I said, didn't expect so many new faces here so quickly. So now I'm feeling the pressure a little bit of putting out content. Yeah, but I'm also really happy you're here, and I hope that we can all get to know each other a little bit more. I love seeing your comments and just chatting. I'd love to hear more about what you're making. I find it so inspirational to hear about other people's projects. I don't have a lot of fiber friends in my real non-virtual life, so it's nice to have some other people who like to do what I like to do and connect in that way. But other than that, I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything else. I think that's about it. I'm referencing my list. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please connect with me on social media. My handle on Instagram is Caprine Cottage. You can also find me on Ravelry. Both will be linked below. I appreciate you so much, and we'll talk soon next week in a full podcast episode. Bye.